right, class, welcome to week 3. Hopefully you were able to view my prominent discussion question post asking you to define the difference between cultural and historical. I also hope for those of you that live in smaller communities or towns that you have actually planned on completing this assignment. I know it's a little bit extra as you might have to drive 30, 40, 50 miles into town, but I want to tell you make it a really fun event. Maybe take your family, a family member, a friend. I can tell you a couple years ago working at a different university, I had a very good friend who was enrolled in an art class and she asked me to attend. So we took the metro into town, went and looked at the art museum, and of course a lot of goofy events happened on the way, as it will with being silly girls, and we really enjoyed it. And I'm glad she asked me to come because I absolutely loved the art scene there and it was a really good time. So hopefully you have someone in your life that will do that with you. You can make it a nice little family evening event, maybe, go to dinner, see some other things, and then go on into a museum or an event. Okay? Again, I just want to clarify, you really are looking for something that is relating to our topic of study, and so we want something cultural. Just because you see a historic event doesn't necessarily mean there's some sort of culture tied into that. If you want to go and see a historic house that somebody lived in, that's history and that's great, but it's not necessarily what we want for this assignment. So make sure that there is that definition and what we've come to know and understand as cultural. Okay, so a really simple way. All I want to do is show you kind of what I did in my situation. Now I have been to museums and events here in Phoenix already, so I know of some of the museums and places that are here. But if I didn't, and back a few years ago when I first moved here, and I really appreciate art and culture and wanted to see what Phoenix had to offer, and so I did this same thing, okay? I'm going to go ahead and bring up Google. Let's Google it. Why not, right? And I want to find for my diversity class a cultural event. And you can see I cheated already. I already was looking. All right. So some keywords that you might want to look for as you Google this. Museum, event, certainly that word culture. Let's see if there's anything that pops up. Okay, let's see. Cultural events. Okay, I could click this maybe. Okay, museum. But let's continue to see if there's anything even more. Ooh, here we go. Heard Museum, American Indian Art and History. Okay. Phoenix Culture. Let's see what's going on here. All right. So we have a museum with, it looks like, a Native American festival. That looks promising, right? Let's go ahead and click on this as soon as we get our, here we go. All right. All right, let's look at this. And, okay, looks like there's going to be paintings, food, using their ingredients. Okay, galleries with art. Okay. I think this would actually be perfect as I continue to scroll down. Okay. I'll be able to look at and purchase Native American food, look into their culture by viewing art, by having discussions with ancestors. This is a perfect event, okay? So this is something that would definitely work. So if you decided to choose something similar to this, then you know that that would be an excellent choice, okay? So simply all I did is Google, and then I looked for words with culture, or museum, event. Definitely, you can certainly look into things that are of historic descent, especially if you're dealing with something like the history of maybe a Civil War museum. There's culture there. We had the South versus the North, right? Definitely. A little bit of culture there. So, I mean, it just depends. Just make sure that you really understand and can distinguish between the two, okay? Now, one thing that we discussed was the importance of using that referencing in APA format. Okay, so how are you going to do that here? Let's go ahead and pull up. Generally, most of the museums that you go to are going to have a brochure or a pamphlet of some sort. Okay, so when you are talking about, in this instance, let's say we are talking about some of the American Indian cuisine. Okay, and in the pamphlet it's discussing the types of products and how it originally came to be, who first perhaps started making this, what tribe and where. Now, obviously, you wouldn't know this without the help of the pamphlet or even if you're on a guided tour. Okay, so generally, you're going to have a really recent pamphlet, or you can look and it'll tell you the date of when it was most recently printed. So I'm going to assume most are going to be from 2013 and of course then this year 2014. So all you need to do is put the name of the museum and the date. Okay, so, oh, look. I've made a mistake because I didn't remember we're going to be in Times New Roman. And let's make sure, what am I doing? 12-point font, okay. And then I need to double space. I should just do set as default, right? All documents, okay. So we'll pretend I have my title, my name, the date, and then of course the title in the center, right? But I'm just going to show you briefly how to cite any sort of statistics or facts about the museum that I'm going to expect to see. We'll just say the name. Okay, so just the name of the museum, or the name if it's a specific event or exhibit, the name of that, and then the date, and that'll be okay. And then on your references page, all you need to do is you could put in your FAR, if we scroll down and pretend we're on our references page, okay, you can go ahead and put the name of the museum. And then if the pamphlet has a name, then you can go ahead and put the pamphlet. But then you'll just put that, and then of course you'll put the date, and you'll finish out the references page with any additional information that comes with it. Okay, so it's not going to be anything. It's probably all you're going to do is put the name of the museum there, and that'll be it on your references page, and that's perfectly acceptable. And then I'll only expect to see one reference, unless of course you're using the copy.com page. Then you'll just list all of your picture links under the references as well. Okay, so you'll have a link here for your first picture, your second, your third, your fourth. And so if you want to, upload, especially because it's fun to use the copy.com, you're welcome to put as many pictures. I mean, let's not get too crazy. I don't need your whole, your entire camera, your digital camera. I don't need 24, but feel free to include if you, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's fine. I'm happy to view them. That's exciting for me to be able to see where you went all over the United States, okay? So really quite simplistic, okay? And then of course this assignment is you going. So again, you're going to have the first person. So I definitely expect to see me. If you decide to take your family or friend, you're welcome then, and only then, to bring in that second person that I hate so much. You're talking about you and your girlfriend, you and your husband or wife, or you and your children. Then you can say, oh, we really liked this, or they went here, we did this, and then on our way home. That's fine. Okay, but certainly make sure that it's more related to you. I want to see more of your experience. If your family and friends have a great time, certainly that's good, and that's the purpose, and I'm glad they were able to attend with you. But make sure that most of it is still, again, in that first person, what you experience, and then of course answering all the questions from the assignment, okay? So I hope that this was somewhat beneficial, and I am so excited for this week, and I will certainly look forward to grading. Hope you're having a delightful day. Bye-bye.